Well, hello and welcome to The Apprentice, You're Fired. I'm Anton Savage, and as you know, at Apprentice Central, we take great pleasure in pointing out those little sound bites that you may have missed during the main show. And it looks like, for some of the contestants, they're beginning to surpass themselves with the use of the English language.
I'm just thinking SpongeBob SquarePants. That's what it's in my head, like.
SpongeBob SquarePants. It's square pants, Barry. He has only one set of pants. They happen to be square. It's not that they have other pants available to him. Moving to some people who can say what they mean with total skill. We are joined by Leo Donovan from We Ireland, by Terry Buckley from Adshell, and by the most popular Big Brother contestant of all time. Ever. Brian Dowling.
Yes! I love hearing that.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Has the glow gone off, or are you still delighted?
I'm still glowing. I'm still there.
Well, one person isn't glowing.
Oh.
And that is the person who got canned tonight. And to kick off the proceedings, we need to remind ourselves of who that was.
Caroline, you're a very likeable girl. You're going to make good in the legal system because you can talk and you can establish empathy and rapport with people, which is a special talent. But right now, probably because of your difficulty in making things happen in areas where you're not experienced, I have to say, you're fired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Caroline McHugh. Caroline, how are you? Sit, please. Caroline, you're a solicitor by training.
Yes, I am.
Never sold anything before?
Well, not in this experience. No, I didn't sell anything here.
Well, no, but you weren't from a sales background. You hadn't done sales.
I'd been in sales before, no. I had worked in a local deli counter at home. I'd worked for a sports store. So I had worked in sports, selling shoes and things. I think perhaps I was stronger at that than selling power tools.
And was it a risk, therefore, with a law background to go into The Apprentice? Was it more difficult for you because you didn't have the same kind of background as the rest?
It probably was. I was the underdog going in that I didn't have the business background. But I mean, I wanted to prove that I could throw myself in at the deep end and kind of throw my hand at and do anything that was thrown at me, which I did do. Okay, I can't sell. I can't even pretend I could sell.
But do you accept that? Was it that the tasks didn't suit you, or do you think, okay, I've now learned this is not for me?
Well, selling isn't for me. I suppose you need to be very forceful. I'm not very forceful in, like, coming on top of people and saying, you know, take this, you have to take this. I probably took the softer chat to the client a little bit and tried to build up a little bit of a friendship and a rapport and almost say, so sure, you might go on and buy it. But that didn't work. They wanted me to lay the law down. And
well, Brian, was the soft sell a mistake?
She says it herself, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I also think potentially you're sitting here maybe because of what happened last week with the power tools as well. I think people kind of thought you would be in the bottom three, and then I think obviously you weren't. I think maybe there was an element of payback, I think, with this task, I think personally after watching it. And I also think for me, you claimed you did quite a lot of stuff. I didn't really see you doing much. Other people stood out for me doing more than what you did. And I think that's why you're sitting here.
I would probably, in my defence there, say that I'd be more of the workhorse, not the show pony. Some people there felt they needed to.
More of a workhorse than a show pony.
I love it. I'm loving it.
Well,
come on, be a bitch. Everyone loves a bitch.
No.
Be the bitch.
I mean, if I felt there was something needed to be said or done, I'd do it. I didn't wait to be guided, or I didn't feel I needed to wait until the camera was on me to do something. So maybe I did stuff that wasn't caught on camera.
Leo, you got to watch some of this. Was there show pony that we didn't get to see?
Well, the way I'm looking at this is the classical dilemma between, you know, the professional person and the entrepreneur. You know, the two of them clash, and you've got Bill there as the entrepreneur, you've got a lovely professional person in Caroline. And it just shows that, you know, we need both sets of people to make things click. And I fair play to trying to step over and go from that professional world into an entrepreneurial world. It didn't work, you know, and...
Terry, do you think it's legitimate that she's here? Is it right that it was Caroline when you watched it back?
I think so. Unfortunately, I think, like Brian said, I think the last episode didn't help it. And I think Bill, number one, is looking for a salesman. I think that's what he's really, really looking for. He's looking for somebody who can sell something. And I think in the current environment and what's going on in the economy, he's looking for somebody out front who can sell. So I think That's the key.
Well, let's have a look back and remind ourselves of where it may have all gone wrong for Caroline.
I'm happy to have worked with Will and Barry because I hadn't worked with them before, and it's nice to kind of mix it up a bit and see what they can do and see how we can bounce off each other.
Okay, why are we going with this blue? Is this the blue? Or the...
Well, we didn't try.
Yeah, I don't want blue because it's blue on the shutter, so this has to be bold. Red. Red stands out.
It stands out.
The blue is shite.
I think everybody's pulled together to work on this task. I think Caroline has pushed herself forward and has given some real input.
The one thing I would say is maybe I felt at times he gave Will more things to do when I was on our split, but I just kind of took it in my own hands and just got on with it.
All of us have to use our initiative. Like, we all have to get stuck in. You don't need constant childminding all the time.
Just make the ads fun.
Is that something the rest of you would echo as well? Do you think that as well?
The best example is sort of the M&M guys. See how fun they are?
So we've M&M, we've Disneyland, and we've Vodafone in the ad. Caroline, what do you think you contributed to this task?
I contributed so much to this task, and it just annoys me because it wasn't recognised by Barry, and Will is still coasting along there, and Ciara's still coasting along, and it just annoys me. I worked my socks off and I did everything that was asked of me plus more.
You know, everybody worked hard.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you said
to...
we worked less hard.
I think everybody worked hard. It's just that they worked...
Harder.
A little bit, yeah. That's all.
The end ad, Caroline, the one that got produced. At any point during it, did you think about saying, no, guys, whatever about the red, this is too wordy, we've screwed around with the logo, we shouldn't go here?
There was an awful lot going on the board. There was too much going on. But, I mean, you could probably have said it to Barry, but Barry would have said, no, I love it, it's great, we'll do it.
How do you mean there was too much going on?
Well, firstly, there was the busy bus shelter full of appliances. That was a lot. He tried to mix in the colour red, which he got just from our focus group, saying the Vodafone ad, it's great, red, boom, bang in your face. As Bill himself said, we tried to make the characters kind of Disney, so we were getting the Disney in, and then just all the text. Well, we were, in the brief it said to educate, and we probably over-educated.
Yeah. You got the characters Disney. Is that not a bit far to say that that's turning the character? You drew legs on a telly. It isn't Mickey Mouse.
It's our amateur Team Fusion Disney.
What about the bus shelter? Because, Terry, from your perspective from AdShell, using one of the old bus shelters, did that really gall the guys?
No, I don't think so. I think that more the issue with the ad is it's far too cluttered. You know, the whole thing about outdoors is that it's a simple medium, and you've got to give a simple message. I mean, the people watching are people passing in vehicular traffic, so it's got to be simple and straightforward, and that is absolutely cluttered. You know, so more a press ad than an outdoor ad.
Well, Brian, what are your views on this? Because the bit that amazed me was that they shifted the Wii logo. In previous episodes, we had people told, absolutely do not touch the company's logo. And then they went and changed Leo's logo.
Yeah, it's not when you're told not to do something. It's like someone tells you don't wear black clothes, and you wear black clothes. It's not going to go well. But also found that when you went to the focus group, you were kind of asking them for ideas. You should have went in with, this is our idea, what do you think? Raise your hands if you like it.
Caroline, though, isn't solely to blame for that. Who else looking around did you say got lucky by virtue of Caroline getting fired tonight?
I want to say Sarah. I find Sarah very, very quiet and almost like, you know, the beauty pageant girls that stand there like with their big crown and their crystally wand and they're just smiling. What's Sarah not saying?
I want to get into this in more detail, but from the winning team, Leo, anybody from the other team that either impressed you or you thought got lucky?
From the winning team, I was very impressed with the creativity of the winning team. You know, to think of really getting a message out there that will clearly say, you know, even the wanted sign, the part where they mentioned about it being a criminal, and then they quickly responded, well, it's a crime not to recycle. And I thought the teams this year were very creative in their thinking and also very clever in their responses when we went in front of the panel. They were very good.
Because you see, some of the criticism that Caroline is getting, I wonder, could Dave get the same? Because earlier on, I had my doubts over Barry, whether he was sort of chancer or whether he was charmer. But I think he's going back in my good books because Dave in this one, I think, may be the one who got away.
Whoa. My God, you're massively expensive, aren't you?
In event management, you have to be on the ball, and not everything goes to plan, and it's up to you to save things a lot of the time. You've got to be seen as the duck where your camera above the water, but your legs are going 90 underwards.
Hopefully Dave will come up with some smoke and mirrors for the presentation.
If I have lost, I've decided on one person that I'm definitely bringing back, which is Dave, because I don't feel as if he contributed enough to the team.
I'm a little confused, Dave, about what you really did on this task. What was this for?
I think if we've lost this task, she'd have to take in people who had contributed least. And on my team, that would be Dave.
It is frustrating when you are carrying somebody like Dave on your split because there wasn't much contribution there.
That was going to be a reveal for the ad on stage, but...
Did you use it?
No, but...
Interesting, isn't it?
I think I'm disappointed a little bit with David. The previous 4 tasks, he didn't have much to contribute. He has never shown something amazing.
I have a feeling that Dave might be in the firing line because of the fact that, you know, we spent money on lights that we didn't need.
Is this all my money you were spending?
It was, Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Dave may be in the firing line, although if he is, it won't come as too much of a shock because Dave has heard those words before.
I have been fired from a job before. It was Christmas time. I was working with a display company and I stupidly left the keys of the van in it and the door open, and it got robbed and stolen and burnt out. And later that day I had another van and I lost the keys to that van, so it was quite a bad day, but unfortunately I was asked to leave after that. Yeah, we didn't see eye to eye on that day.
Well, we're joined this week, as we are every week, by Mairead Fleming, our recruitment expert from Brightwater Recruitment. Mairead, are we being a bit cruel today?
A little bit cruel, but quite frankly, those comments, they're harsh, but they are justified. He kind of does deserve them.
He's not exactly shown himself to be a contender in the race, is he?
No, I'm surprised he's still here. I don't think he's going to be around for much longer. You know, he claims he's an event manager. The detail that's lacking with Dave is the detail. His attention to detail has been really poor throughout. We saw him last week as a team leader, and poor Michelle with that €20. That's unforgivable. You know, how basic is that? He also says, you know, event managers need to be organised and thorough. He forgot to bring the cloth back to the Burlington Hotel, you know, and bringing lights to a venue that, as an event manager, you know, is a prestigious venue in Dublin. You kind of guess they'd have lights, surely. So he's not a serious contender for me, no.
Well, thank you very much, Mairead. I suspect that for us, that may be enough excitement for one part. We're going to take a little breather, but when we come back, don't go anywhere, because we'll be looking at Ciara and trying to decide whether she's flying below the radar or flying into the radar, and we'll have a unique bit of Barry. Join us in 3. And you're welcome back to The Apprentice, You're Fired. OK, guys, Brian, starting with you, the current stars, the people who are standing out either for good reasons or for bad.
Right, well, I've got 2 stars. One is Michelle and one is Will, because I'm in love with him.
How much in love?
Will is the hottest thing I've seen in my life. So let's just get that out there.
Right.
That aside, Michelle, I think Michelle's amazing. I think she's confident. I think she's ballsy, but not in an arrogant, bitchy way. I think she gets stuck in, and I just think she's just amazing. And she's not rude or she's not arrogant, but she gets what she wants, and she does what she wants in a positive, ladylike manner. And you don't think she's a bitch, and that's difficult for women.
Can we go back to Will? Because I like the way you light up when you say his name.
Oh, do I?
Do you think he's any good at anything, or is it just you like to look at him?
Well, I'd like to think he's good at some things, but I'm not going to put that out here. I think Will, in my eyes, he's obviously not the Apprentice, but he could be a hot stripper. I've got €10 in my pocket. I'll gladly give to him.
Terry, do you share Brian's views on Will?
Sorry, Will does nothing for me. But Michelle would.
Would she? Good. OK, fine. Yeah.
Stop it!
I take it, Terry, that's for purely business reasons.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What about her professional competence impresses you so much?
I think she's done very, very well, and I think it's going to, looking at them all, I think it's going to be a shootout between Michelle and Niamh. That's where I think it's going to end up.
Michelle and Niamh?
Yeah, I think it'll be a shootout there.
Leo, would you agree?
Oh, yeah, I think Niamh is very good. She was very impressive now when she made the presentation to us. And on the hard questions, when we asked them some hard questions, she came up trumps. So Niamh will be